Now let us say I asked. What is the price of the book? How many books you need? This is the conversation we had. So this is the conversation I had. Identify the requirement. Now in this requirement, understand what is the data involved. Out of this data, what type of data we are going to take, who is going to provide the data, which data system has to collect it. First, that's the analysis. So when you had a requirement like this, first, what is the data you need? Name, book name. We are collecting the name. We are collecting the book name. We are collecting cost or a price. Then number of books. Then we had total. We had discount. This is the data which is involved in this operation. Name of the person, book name, okay, the cost of the book, number of books, total amount, discount, final amount. So in this requirement, what is the data we are going to, what is the data it is using, or what is the data we are supposed to provide? In this data type. Now name. Now what is the data type of it? I have taken Satish Mala, so it's going to be string. I took book name. Now it is like 2 states, string. I asked the price. Now it is 1000.00. It should be a decimal. How many books you need? Number of books. I gave 5, integer. Then I told discount. Discount. Okay, 5000 into 10 by 100 is going to be decimal. Then we gave final price. So first understand the data what we need. Now when you understand the data, okay, who provides this data? Name. Who will give? System has to give or you have to give? We have to give it. So user has to enter. Book name who has to provide? User has to enter. Price, user has to enter. Number of books, user has to enter. Discount, system calculates. I told it 10%. What was that? Total into 10% of total. Final price, system calculate. How the system calculate? So what was that? System will calculate the total. Or the system calculates number of books into price. Now final price, system will calculate total minus. So first understand what is the data we need. What type of data is this? Who will give the data? User will give or system will calculate. If system collected, what is the logic that system is using to calculate this? If system is calculating, what is the logic that system is using to calculate this? Then if you understand this, then I can write a program easily. What was that? Integer, number of books. Decimal, what are the decimal values we had? Total, price, discount. If I take a string, name, now I told name, user has to give book name, then I give price, then we have the total system has to calculate. What is the value of total? Number of books into discount, system has to calculate. I told total into 10%, final price, right boss? So we are able to write this code easily because we had made already this analysis. Because already I have taken, this is the data what I am going to use, this is the data system is going to calculate, this is the data what I am going to provide. Because you already analyzed this, you know what data you need, you know what calculation you have to make, you know what data you have to provide. So, as you have the clarity, this is nothing, it takes no time. Got my point? So, whenever we are implementing any use case in development, first analyze what is the data we need to implement this. What is the data involved in this requirement? Who will provide this data? If the system has to calculate, what is the logic or what is the expression which you have to use? Okay, how are you going to calculate or what is the logic you are going to write? If you analyze this, then writing a program becomes a simple process. We straight away start taking this one without analyzing this. That's how the program becomes difficult for the new learners. I'm giving the format for the people who are very new to the program. The people who are new to the programming, this is how you are supposed to understand the requirement. Right? I hope everybody is good. Right. Now every line is called a statement. Every line is called statement. Every line we are taking here is called a statement. Okay. Let us take the next one. Now, analyze this, write the data which is involved. Analyze this, write the data which is involved. Analyze this and write the data which is involved. Type of data. What is the data involved? Type of data that is involved. What is the data involved? Type of data that is involved. What is the data involved in this? Type of data which is involved in this. People who are very new to the programming, make an attempt of writing. People who are new to the programming, make an attempt of writing. Now, what is the first one we had? Asking what is your college? So college name is going to be CBIT. Now I told only college, the expression I have not given. We had college string. We had year. Now I was giving which year? I gave second year. Branch. I want to take like CSC. Internal marks. Integer. External marks. Integer. Total. Phone number. What is the format of phone number I am taking? 040-1234. It has to be. Fee I am taking. Mute your mics. Right. So this is how we are taking the data. This is how we are taking the data. Then analyze who is going to provide. User. This is what I have created. Yeah. I'm not going to. System collected. This is how I have analyzed it. Then take the data. When you go to this, I have college, Here branch, then I had integer, total marks. So set the data. Because it is a variable, I was taking in lower camel. Variable name should be in what? Lower camel. First word, first letter small. Remaining words, other letters should be capital. First word, first letter should be small. Remaining words, other letters should be capital. We have a branch. So I have phone number. Then we have C. Here my data types are also going to be a class internally. Every data type we are using here, internally they are class. Generally when you go to other programming language, we write like a small I, okay, I, F, D, but here internally they are classes also. That's the reason I prefer to take them as a capital. I prefer to take them as a capital, the first letter as a capital. Now internally every data type is a class. The Salesforce, every data type we are taking, internally they are classes. So that's the reason I want to prefer to use the capital. Even if you take a small, doesn't make any difference here. But as they are classes, I prefer to take with the capital. Right? Okay. So this is how you are taking here. I hope you are good with this. So this is the basic way of writing a statement. So understand the requirement, analyze what is the data involved, what data system will enter, what data I have to calculate, what data I have to provide. This, if you analyze it, you have a quick idea about what exactly you are trying to do. So the requirement will be clear for you. When the requirement is clear, implementing the program is not a difficult. It's not a difficult task. I hope you got my point. Right. Now we have created. Now to see the output. Right now we didn't do any Visualforce pages. In the Salesforce, any data will be printed on the VF pages. Any data like this, if you create a VF page, then I can click on preview. This is how we can see the output. But we have not done any Visualforce concept set. We didn't start the Visualforce concept set. Because we didn't start the Visualforce, then how can I see the output? What are the programs I am writing? Now if I want to see whether they are running properly or not, I have to write I have to create an output. Now when I am writing a program, whether they are running properly or not, or what type of output they are giving, I have to see the output. So what we are doing, that is the reason I am going for a log files. What I am using here, log files. I am going to check the output in log file. When I execute, how the statement is running, step by step we get a log file. When I execute, step by step we get a log file. Internally how the system is executing, okay, step by step we get a log file. From the log file, I want to see how the program is running. Why? Because we have not done Visualforce yet. We have not done any Visualforce programming yet. That is the reason I cannot show you the output straight away on the Visualforce. Because if I want to show the output on the VF page, we have to first complete the Visualforce. We are still in the OOPS concept. So that is the reason I am showing the output in the log. Now how the tester will test the process? The log file. They go to log file to see how you perform unit testing. In the log file, I am going to print the output and see. Are you getting? So I am printing the output in the log file and checking out. Now this is a way of unit testing. This is purely for unit testing purpose. When I want to develop I want to test whether functionality is working or not. Now I'll put some statements in the log file and cross check. Breakpoints. I'm going to put some breakpoints and check my functionality. So right now I'm showing the output like a tester. Now this is not the way in which we execute. This is not the way in which we display. Here, as I have not done Visual Force, I am showing the output from log file. In the future, we get into the Visual Force and see, because we are just doing the OOPS basics. I am going to the log file and showing it. How do you do that? File, edit, debug. In the developer console, what are you finding here? Then below the debug, what we have? Execute, anonymous, system.debug. Whatever I give, that expression I give, it will be printed. Whatever the expression I give here in the system.debug, that will be printed in log file, not on the UI. Whatever I give in the system.debug, that will be printed in the log file, not in the UI. Whatever I give in a system.debug, that will be printed in the log file. That will be printed in the log file. Whatever I am giving, that will be printed in the log file. System.debug expression. Test it. So whatever I was printing on the single quote, whatever I put in the single quote, it will be printed here. System.debug. Right. Then select what we have here. Open. Then give execute. Execute highlight. Then the log file is open. Then enable debug. At the bottom we have an option called debug only. So when you say debug only, whatever the statements you wrote using the system.debug, only those debug statements will be displayed to you. So what we got? Testing lines, pipelines, okay, stars. Whatever we give in system.debug, we are going to get message. Whatever we are going to give in system.debug, we are going to get the message. Now, always remember, when you are doing a testing in the log file, if you give these random messages, it will become difficult for you to understand where was that, because log file will have hundreds of lines, because step by step execution. In the log file, now in the log file, how do you understand what is your output? In the log file, how do you understand what is your output? Now there will be lot of lines here. How do you understand it? Let's look at this. Execute it again. Now in this, a lot of program is there. Now how do you understand this? There is a reason. Always have a practice of putting one format, so that when you look at the log, when we have the symbol, it is a test message, right? So always try to put some symbol instead of putting random message like that. Always follow some expression format, so that when you open the log, you know this is my printed statement, right? So I hope you are good with this. Now I am taking a variable here, string name. System dot debug name Now I have taken a variables, I have assigned a values to the variables. Now I want to print them. So I give system.debug name, system.debug age, system.debug city. Now we are getting the value of name, city and age. But the problem is, if I don't put what type of data is this, then it's difficult for me to understand what is the meaning of the output. So what I want to do, before printing I want to say name, this is the value, age, this is the value. Now I want to print the output in this format, name Satish. So that when I look at this output, I understand what this is. When I look at this output, I understand what it is. Are you getting my point? Now I don't want to print only Satish 34 Bangalore. I want to print name, age, city. Now when I look at the output, I understand what the output is. When I look at Satish, I know it's a name. When I look at 34, I know it's age. Why? Because when you are looking at now I gave only 4 lines, you are able to identify. But when I execute any requirement, then there will be thousands of lines will be. In that I am printing, let's say 40 values I am printing. Then it will be difficult for me to understand at every stage what the value is. So always I have to ensure I print a reasonable, I print a meaningful data which the people can understand. Right? So what is the purpose of system.debug? It is to print the message in the log file. Again I repeat, this is not printing the data in the UI. It is printing the data on the log file. Right, Amma? I hope you are good. So how we want to print this data now? Look at the format. Now the major point you need to understand is, this is what? Anything that you put in a single code is a string. Anything that you want to put in a single code is a string. Okay, this message will be printed exactly the same. System.debug. If I give, what is the output I am going to get? Then I give system dot. If you want to add any variable to the message, already we have a string. Okay, along with the string, if you want to add any variable, that variable may be integer, that variable may be a string, that variable may be a decimal. If you want to print the value of a variable, the string plus variable name, the message plus variable name, the message plus variable name. If you give variable name, whatever the value of the variable is there, that will be added here. Are you clear about this? So now tell me how you print the message here. System dot. Now there is string. After the string, what do you want to print? A variable. Right? Are you getting my point? Whatever we give in a single code is a message plus variable. When I say plus variable, whatever the data that is there in the variable, that will be printed along with that message. So let us see this. This is how we put. Name Satish is 34, city Bangalore. If you want to append any value of a variable plus variable name, string plus variable name, string plus variable name, string plus variable name. Are you getting my point here? Is that was clear for everyone? Am I clear with this? Right. Same. Now I want the output to be like this. Now what I want to do? Variable, okay. Variable followed by message. That is previously message followed by variable. Now what I need? Now what I need? System.debug name plus. Are you getting my point? So whenever you want to append, whenever you want to print a value along with a string plus variable or variable plus string, depends upon the format you need. Either it is a string plus variable or variable plus string. I hope you're good. There is a variable plus message or message plus variable. Depends upon your context. I hope you're good with this example. Right. So what is the purpose of system.debug? It is to print message in the log file. Why do we use it? It is used for unit testing. It is used for what? Unit testing. Right now we are using because we want to learn OOPS without Visual Force and Apex. There is a reason I am using a testing format to show the output. Okay, boss? Everyone is good with that? Right? Okay. Now, let us understand my requirement now. Look at my requirement. Now I want the output to be this output what I want to get. Now write the program for this and generate the output in this format. Create a program and generate the output in this format. People already who know the programming for 3-4 days, you need to bear with this, so that the people who are very new to the programming, they have some basics. Done, boss. Right. What we have done? Tell me what is the data involved here? What is the data involved here? So here we had name. It is going to be string, and user is going to enter it. Then here we have experience. Decimal, or you can take integer. Then I had salary, not decimal. User is going to throw it. Now I have DA. System will calculate salary into 10%. Then we had a total. We have salary plus. This is how we are going to give it. So take decimal, salary, DA, integer, string. Then we told name equal to salary equal to, then DA equal to salary into. DA is, I guess, I gave 15%, right? Now I want to print it. How do you print it? System dot. So this is a message. Whatever I give in the single quote, that is printed. This is a plus variable. After the plus, what I wrote? It is the name of a variable. It is a variable. After the plus, what I have written is a variable name. Dot debug. I hope you are good with this. So this is how we have written a statement and we are printing the message. Now, this is a basic implementation. I hope you are good with this. Writing a statements, writing the logics, we are printing the data the way you want. Right, boss? The purpose of system.debug is to print the message. Okay. So we have seen how to create a variables. We have seen how to create a variables, how to create a data types, how to create a statement, how to print the message using system.debug. Now, the next one, we want to write some conditions and logics. So if you want to write a conditions and logic, how you define operators? So how you define the conditions and logics? Now, what are the symbols we have here? Listen carefully. I have basic operator. What are the basic operators? Plus the basic operators. Okay. Basic operators, we have this. Then we have equal to, double equal to, triple equal to. Then other things we had less than, greater than, less than, equal to. These are the operators we had. Right. Similarly, when you go to the other logical operators, we have and or, we have ternary operator, statement or condition. So this is what we are going to use to form our logics. Logics are conditions we are going to form using this. So primary things we already know, arithmetical operators. The purpose of the arithmetical operators we know. The second, we'll try to understand the second set. A equal to 10. When I say A equal to 10, what was that? Assigning 10 to the variable A. We are assigning the value. A double equal to 10. Okay. Comparing value of A is equal to, so double equal means LHS, RHS. It checks LHS value, RHS value are same or not. So double equal to is to check whether the value on the left hand side and the value on the right hand side, both of them are equal or not. If both of them are equal, they give you true. It gives you true. Both are equal. Both are equal. LHS, RHS. Then what? A triple equal to. Okay. Now I give the next requirement. Let us see. Try to get the point. Basically, triple equal to will be used with objects. For your understanding, I am creating with a basic variable. Generally, it is supposed to be used with only objects. But for understanding this, I am giving with the non-object. Practically, it is wrong. Okay. It should be used with objects. When I say integer A equal to 10, memory was created, value is 10. What is the address location? Let us say it is at 400 location. Let us say the memory is at some 400 location, memory is given, in that memory value of 10 is stored. How this memory is referred? Using a variable called A. Integer B, memory is given to the B variable. In that, what is the value we are storing? Address is 6. Now, A double equal to B, left hand side value is equal to right hand side value. Left hand side value is 10, RHS side is 10, both of them are same. When I give A triple equal to B, this false. When I say A triple equal to B, they will not check the value, they check the locations. A is then, B is then, okay. But what is the location of A? At 400. Location of B, 600. So they don't want to check the values, they want to check the locations. The point, the location of both the values are same, then they are true. Otherwise they are false. Are you getting my point? A double equal to B, they compare left hand side value is equal to right hand side value or not. A triple equal to B, they check whether the locations are, whether the reference locations are same or not. If both of them are same, then it is going to give you true. I hope you are good with this. I hope you are good with this. Now let me give you an example. I told, just for showing the output I am taking this. Don't worry about what I wrote. Basically I am trying to compare it. This is how I give. Now system.debug ACC will equal to 1. So I gave ACC, first one true, second one false. Now look at the point here. It is empty, it is also empty. But when I told ACC equal to 1, why? ACC and 1 both are same, because 1 equal to, now here both of them are referring to same memory location. Here they are not referring to same memory location, right? So are you getting my point? Triple equal to will verify whether both of them are referring to the same address location. If both of them are referring to the same address location, they are going to give you true. Double equal to will give you true if both of them are having same value. If both of them are having same value, it is going to give you true. Double equal to will give you true if both the values are same. Triple equal to will give you true if LHS value and RHS value both are referring to the same location. I hope you are good with this. So here we have triple equal to. This will return true if address location of LHS value right boss equal to, double equal to, triple equal to. Fine, let me take examples here. City is Hyderabad. How do you check city is Hyderabad? You want to check whether city is city double equal to. Now what does it mean? If the value of city is Hyderabad. We are checking whether the value of city is Hyderabad. We are checking the value of city is Hyderabad. Is city is Hyderabad? Is city is Hyderabad? City double equal to Hyderabad. Industry value equals to. Now write the conditions. Trading value write the code for this. So define the conditions. Industry equals to checking whether industry value is energy or not. Rating equals to checking whether value of rating is hot or not. Annual revenue greater than then industry not equals to energy. Industry not equals to energy. Rating not equals to city equals to blank. Blank means empty braces, empty single quotes. Empty single braces. So it's checking blank. Age equal to age is null. What is the default data type for every variable? What is the default default value for every variable? Null. If you don't assign any value, it's null. Then we had phone not equals to place not equals to blank. Then we had cost less than or equal to cost less than or equal to 30,000. Then we had salary greater than or equal to. I hope people are good. This is the basic operators what we are using for comparison. You want to write a condition. At the end of the game, any conditional operator I write, it is going to give me true or false. At the end of the game, any conditional operator I write, it is going to give me true or false. Any condition that I write is going to give me true or false. At the end of the game, any condition that I write is going to give me true or false. All these conditions are going to give me value of true or false. At the end of the game, any condition that I write, the value is going to be true or false. At the end of the game, whatever the value I wrote, whatever the condition I wrote, it is going to give me true or false. Okay. Now, let us get into the next one. Let us get into the next one. Logical operators. When I say logical operators, when you want to take a combination of two or more condition, when you want to take a combination of two or more condition, then I go for logical operators. When I want to take a combination of two or more conditions, when I want to take a combination of two or more conditions, I go for logical. When I want to take combination of two or more conditions, I will go for logical operator. So how you write? Condition 1 and condition 2. Yes, what is your query? Right. Now, condition 1 and condition 2. Condition 1 and condition 2. So, it will return true. All the conditions are true. We had condition 1 or will return true. Any one of the so we have condition 1 and condition 2. We have condition 1 or condition 2. Condition 1 and condition 2. Condition 1 or condition 2. So this is how we are giving. We are writing logical operators. So here we have industry is banking and the rating is. So start writing these examples here. Industry is banking, rating is hot. Stage name equals to prospecting, closed one or less than 10th May 19. Lead source web. So this is how I give. What I was doing, industry equal to banking and rating equals to. So I want industry value to be banking and a rating value to be hot. I want the value of industry to be banking, rating to be hot. Then I give stage name equals to closed one or closed last. Stage name equals to closed one or close date. Stage name equal to stage name equal to closed one, stage name equal to closed last, equal to closed one or equal to closed last. Close date less than date dot new instance of 2019. We have May, we have 10th. We are referring to a particular date. How do you refer to a particular date? Date dot new instance of year, month, day. And stage name not equals to right. Then we had lead source equal to web and status equal to open or status equal to open, priority equal to origin equal to web and status equal to right. We are just making a combination of the conditions. So with the help of this we are taking it. Now I told close date is today, and stage name is closed one, or close date is 15 days from today. Stage name is prospect. So I'm taking the format like this. Now, first one, close date equals to today. How do you refer to today? System dot today. And stage name equal to, if the close date is today and stage name equal to closed one, or either this or the second. What is the second one? Close date equals to 15 days from today. Today plus 15 days and stage name equal to, I'll add in the next line to show it. Either the first condition or second condition. Either the first condition or second condition. Now, a quick point here. If you want to understand writing a program, if you write the logics for questions what I give, you will not get it. You will understand the programming only if you can form a question. Listen to the format of learning. If you just follow the topic what I have given, if you implement the exercise what I give, you are implementing just what I have given. Because in a topic I just cover the condition, you know how to write it. Now, if you want to learn the topic when to use, you have to form a question. If you form a question, you know the purpose of the topic. If you do my examples what I given, because the same topic one topic I covered, I give 10 examples of the same topic. If you implement it, obviously you'll write it, because all the 10 are of the same type. So you don't understand what topic need to be used where. Now, if you want to claim the experience of 2 or 3 years of experience, you do not understand the syntax and writing the program. You need to understand when should I take. That knowledge you have to gain it. That knowledge you will gain only when you form the questions from your end. Now, how I am giving, you are able to write this condition because I am telling very clearly, take industry banking, rating equal to what? You are writing it. There is nothing intelligence that need to be applied. So, if you want to learn a development, the way you have to practice is, you have to form a question like this, then write a program. If you straight away write the program for the use cases what I give, or the use cases what you find in Google, you don't get a knowledge of what to use. You only get syntactical knowledges. You get my point? If you want to learn the development, the procedure should be, now you have to form the question first from your end, then write the topic. When you are forming the question, you have that, no, yes, if this is the type, I have to take this concept. If this is the type, I will take this concept. Then you get the knowledge when I can take this topic. Are you getting my point? Otherwise, if you simply do the exercises and steps I have given, you only get syntactical knowledge, and whatever the examples I have given, only that exposure you will get it. You will not get beyond that. Now, practically, you need to get the exposure on what topic should be used where. In what are the contexts I can use this type of concept. That is the knowledge what you are supposed to gain to sustain the company with your experience. Right? People who are new to the programming, do practice the examples by forming your own questions. Right? If you collect the question from a Google, you collect from some XYZ, you will not be able to achieve. Now, if I tell batchworks, you write batchworks. If I tell trigger, you will write trigger. But if I give a requirement, you will not be able to do. Then if I have to give a requirement and I have to tell, this is a batchworks concept, do it, you will write it. Are you getting my point? Now, if I give a batchworks concept, cover it, and if I say, achieve this example with batchworks, you will do it. If I give a requirement and say achieve this with a trigger, you will do it. If I simply give a requirement, you will not do it. You know both the topics, but you cannot do it because you don't know what to use. Right? This is what you are supposed to gain as a real time. That will not come by doing only stereotype of examples on a topic. That you are going to learn every topic that I complete, you form the questions on your own. If you are not able to form a question on your own, you didn't get the topic right. As simple as that. If you are unable to form the question, you didn't get the topic right. Revise the topic again. So, learn the development by forming the questions, then implementing the logic, but not by simply taking my examples and implementing. Right, boss? Chalo.
Can you please share the credential for this particular note?
It is a notes at the rate of 321.com. Notes at the rate of 321.com.